did theater sound design. I did consulting with bars and clubs and just anything. And gradually over the years, I got more and more specialized. More recently, I've cut down to just two things. The two things that I do now are inventing the automatic microphone mixers and manufacturing them, and doing nature sound recording in the national parks. Well, I think the automixer is about 50 years old. I got the idea for it when I worked on hair in 1968, and it took about 6 years of breadboarding and, kind of putting things together, trying different things. About 6 years before I had something I could patent. Originally, the idea was to turn microphones on and off when they were needed, which is kind of like the concept of a gate. But the problem with gates is they have a fixed threshold, and so sometimes it's louder at the place where the microphone is than the soft parts of the speech. So, a fixed threshold doesn't work. So I got that going, and then I realized that wasn't good enough. And I discovered that if you had an adaptive threshold that measured the ambient noise in the room and made a gate that gated relative to the ambient noise in the room, in other words, whenever there was something at the microphone more than the ambient noise, then it would open the microphone. So that all led to my first patent, which was what I now call the Dugan Music System, or Dugan Source Expansion. Then I was thinking, this can be simplified somehow, and I was patching around different combinations on, the breadboard, which is the way we used to start prototype electronics, is we'd wire things together on little pins on perf board. And I made a combination on the breadboard which just seemed to be magic. It was, it was doing everything you wanted, but it didn't have any threshold, and it was just amazing. So I had to reverse engineer that I had discovered, just by kludging around. I had to reverse engineer that to be able to write the patent for what is now called the Dugan speech system in-house, and that's become generically, since the patent's expired, called gain sharing. That's the generic name for the Dugan speech system. And so that sort of fell out of the earlier development by messing around with it. And that turned out to be, the answer to everything in multi-mic speech systems. And this is the 8-channel analog computer, which was the first professional version of Dugan automatic mixing. This is what it went in the Letterman show originally, and Hollywood Squares, and all the original adopters used this Model D. I want to show you how gain sharing works. I'm going to show you how gain sharing handles PA feedback when multiple mics are set at high gain. First, I'll show you the problem. Then I'll show you how gain sharing makes it go away. I'm talking on a sound system on one mic at high gain. On this automixer control panel, the green bars show the channel gains. Think of them as virtual faders. Let's bring up another mic. Now there are 2 mics open at high gain. You may be able to hear how the feedback from the speakers has increased. Let's get one more. Now there are 3 mics open at high gain. The feedback ringing is getting to be bad. If I were to open any more mics, the system would howl. Well, let's try 4. Okay, now we've got 4 microphones. It's getting to be pretty bad. And how can we deal with this problem? Well, let's go to gain sharing automatic mixing. Okay, now we're using gain sharing automatic mixing, and you can see when I'm talking, my mic comes up to full gain, and all the other mics are pushed down. And here's on mic 2, I have full gain. I'm the only mic in the system, and the other mics are pushed down. I'm on mic 3, and it's like I'm the only mic in the system, but I'm at full gain. And here I am at mic 4 at full gain. Now notice when I stop talking, all the mics come up to a medium gain that adds up to the gain of one open microphone. So the ambient noise pickup and the feedback remain constant no matter what happens. And there is no threshold and no gating. There's no threshold.